Good day, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to this presentation on the $1 Million Baby. This is one of my favorite concepts to go over and educate parents and grandparents on this amazing strategy. It truly is. That's why I call it the generational wealth builder. We're going to jump right into this and get this started. So let me introduce myself. My name is Rory Seewalt. I am a professional in the financial industry. I work out of the Edmonton office on the west side of the city. The firm I work with is Experior Financial. Here's my contact information if you do feel the need to reach out or have any questions of, regarding this concept or many other concepts or financial questions you might have. So we're going to jump right into this. Basically, what we're going to be covering is this question right here. What is the $1 Million Baby? How does it work? Later in the presentation, we're going to be going over the behind the scenes of the program so that you understand, where the money is going, how it's accumulating, how it's securing, future generations' wealth, and what have you. So what is the $1 Million Baby? Short answer is it's a well-known strategy that parents and grandparents use to accumulate and secure wealth for future generations. Take a look at these last two words, tax-free. A lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, and I see this a lot, people are so focused on accumulating the wealth, to create an estate for future generations and to pass on wealth. But oftentimes research has found that they've forgotten about the second part. And the second part is the taxes. What tax implications is the family going to incur, receiving the money? Because it all depends on how you receive the money and transfer wealth. So through this process is 100% tax-free. That is why it is the most utilized strategy that the wealthy use to transfer wealth to the next generation, which is very interesting. It uses one of the most powerful wealth building vehicles Canadians have access to. The Americans have access to this as well, but for the sake of this presentation, we're just going to be focusing on the Canadian side, and that is called a participating cash value life insurance policy. That is really what we're going to be diving deep on here today, and you're going to become an expert by the end of this video, I hope. So the question I have for you is, did you know you don't have to die to take advantage of cash value life insurance? A lot of people don't. A lot of people thought, well, you have to die in order to utilize life insurance. That's the whole point. What if I told you that's why it's called life insurance, is to actually utilize it when you're alive, right? And oftentimes it's just a lack of education, a lack of knowledge, right? You don't know what you don't know. So, for the sake of this presentation, I want to congratulate you for being on here today and getting yourself educated on, how does the wealthy accumulate wealth? What have I, been lacking knowledge in the finance department, right? And that's why you're on here today. So I want to congratulate you for that. So again, 100% tax-free and then participating cash value life insurance. So, that sounds great, Rory. But what's happening behind the scenes? If this is something I want to contribute to, whether that be for, my child or my grandchild, what is happening behind the scenes so I can better understand where my money is going, right? And that's what I want to help you, understand what this process looks like. So in this program, there is monthly contributions. Now, there are 3 types of contribution options. Number 1 is 20 pay. This is considered, it's considered 20 years of paying into the policy or program. Now, after 20 years, it's considered paid up. and no more contributions are necessary, and the insurance is paid for. You're going to have that insurance policy obviously until the insured passes away. So that is what that means. That's 20 pay. This is the most common contribution option when it comes to this program, simply because it's not too long and it's not too short either. And I'm going to explain this with the 10 pay. Oftentimes we have found that the 10 pay, it begins to really accumulate, but it all depends on how much you're contributing in the first 20 years. That's why the first 20 years are so important, because it makes a big difference later on in life. If you understand how compound interest works, you understand the most gains are made near the end, or the more of the longevity part of the investment, or however you're receiving the interest. So that's why it's very important. We typically recommend 20 pay, especially for the youth and children that you're considering putting a policy in place for. The third option is life pay. We aren't going to generally speaking recommend life pay to a children's policy, just because I'm sure you can put it together. If the child passes away at 90, then there's 90 years of contribution. That doesn't make too much sense. The goal here is to, how can we have minimal contributions but maximize the benefits and growth and the estate for our child or grandchild, right? So again, life pay is generally speaking more for older folk that need the cost of insurance to be lowered. And with life pay, obviously, the cost of insurance is the lowest, but you got to take into account too, how long are you going to be paying for it? So again, typically speaking, we recommend 20 pay for children's policies. Okay, where's the money going? Right, that's your next question. Where's the money going? So when you make a monthly contribution, a portion goes towards the permanent life insurance, and then a portion goes to what we call a cash value account. Now I'm going to go over the permanent life insurance policy first. And what this is, it is a life insurance policy that is in force for the entire lifespan of the insured. So with this being a child, the cost of insurance is generally speaking as low as it's going to be. It's not going to get cheaper than the time you watch this video for your child, because every year the child gets older, or you get older, or anybody gets older, the cost of insurance goes up, right? So the benefit of permanent life insurance is having insurance for life. Once this policy is paid off, like I said, after 20 years, you will have insurance on that child till the day they pass away. Doesn't matter if that's 40 or 95, there's going to be insurance in place. Now, it guarantees insurability. So if you are a parent or grandparent and you know that there's critical illnesses within the family genes, and you are more than likely sure that your child is eventually going to get diagnosed with these illnesses, then this is a perfect way to guarantee insurability. If you can get insurance on your child when they're young and they haven't been diagnosed, then whatever happens after. You only need to qualify once, and that is through the underwriting process. You'll only go through the underwriting process once. And once you are approved, you're going to have that insurance no matter what happens throughout that child's or insured's lifespan. So that is the advantages of permanent life insurance. Now, the cash value. This is the other portion where the money is going. Now, this is what you call, I guess, I don't consider this an investment. I consider this a proper retirement and estate plan. because I don't consider this as an investment because you are not in the market. There is no market volatility within the cash value life insurance whole life option. So typically speaking, Equitable Life is one of the best life insurance companies to put this program in place. Obviously, I am 100% broker here at Experior. We're all brokers. We have contracts with over 35 insurance companies, but it's actually not even close. Equitable Life is one of the best when it comes to putting children's plans in place. So that's why you use their numbers here. Their dividend interest over the past 30 years have been averaging almost 7.5%. Now, Equitable Life, it's not on this screen, but I do know this for a fact. Equitable Life has been paying dividends to the policy holders since 1932. That's 1932 if you missed it the first time. So a long time, just about 100 years, they've been paying out this dividend, and it's never gone below 3%. Now, you're probably asking, what is a dividend, right? If you don't know, that's okay. I'm going to explain. So how Equitable Life is owned is it's called a mutual company. So it's not a privately held, it's not publicly held, it's mutual. It's mutually held, meaning the policy holders are actually the co-owners of the insurance company, which is super cool. When you purchase a policy through Equitable Life, a cash value permanent policy through Equitable Life, you become a co-owner, and they reward you for being a co-owner, and they allow you to be compensated for the profits of the insurance company. So that is how the dividend is calculated. It is calculated through the profitability of the insurance company. Now, with Equitable Life being one of the most profitable life insurance companies in Canada, generally speaking, like it shows, the dividend interest is quite high and very profitable. This 7.47% average gets paid on your cash value. So as your cash value accumulates, your dividend interest is going to be accumulating as well and getting bigger and bigger. The checks is going to be directly deposited into the cash value account. You will get notified, but you aren't going to receive a check in the mail. It's going to go directly in your cash value account. This dividend interest is 100% tax-free. And I'm going to go over that again. It's 100% tax-free from the time you contribute to the plan, the time you collect dividend interest, and it's also tax-free if you do it correctly and borrow against the policy through a loan, which we'll talk about briefly. Borrowed money is 100% tax-free as well. So that is how you actually get money out of the cash value account without any tax implications. Policy loan, this is what I'm talking about. So policy loan is up to 90% of whatever is in the cash value. So where parents and grandparents see the value in this is they want to contribute to something that is going to, again, transfer a portion of wealth to the child or grandchild without any tax implications. And they want to shelter that, right? So if there is $20,000, for example, in the cash account, when the child turns 18 years of age, they are able to, if the parent or grandparent decides to gift them the policy, they're able to use that and utilize that cash value, whether that be, to pay some education expenses, maybe schooling or housing for schooling, whatever the case may be. They're able to use that, maybe a new vehicle, maybe just books. It's up to you as the person taking out that policy loan. The money can be for anything. Down payment on a house, right? So those are the things that parents and grandparents have in mind when they're contributing to this plan, is because they know, one day, when they graduate from high school, if they decide hopefully to graduate from high school or post-secondary, they'll have that money available and it'll be easily accessible to cover education expenses, right? Living is not free. So to give them peace of mind that they know, hey, I'm contributing to my child or grandchild's future. That's why they do this, and they want to do it in the most tax efficient ways possible. And this strategy is 100% tax free if done right. If you want more information regarding behind the scenes or have any questions, again, just directly message me. This is just a brief overview. So, advantages of owning a child participating whole life policy. Well, there are many. I guess we'll start right here. Is owner has 100% control of the policy. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, and this is so powerful. If the parent owns this policy and contributes for 20 years, the policy is paid up. Now this policy is 100% paid for, and the parent owns it. Now, even though that their child is the insured, they own the cash value because they are the ones who has been contributing into the plan. So typically speaking, what parents or grandparents decide to do is gift them the policy, the cash value, the death benefit, everything that is accumulated. All it happens is it transfers over ownership to the child. Typically speaking, this is a great wedding gift. This is a great, graduation gift. Whatever the case may be, maybe you're celebrating something and you want to gift your child something on a special occasion that is truly going to impact them and their family's future for future generations as well. So that's what that means. Now, let me run this case by you, because some of you may be thinking of this. If the child maybe gets into some trouble and the parent isn't comfortable transferring the ownership to the child, that's totally fine. The parent remains the owner for as long as the parent wishes. Now, maybe 40 years down the road, the parent wishes to transfer that policy to their child. That is 100% completely okay. So 100% ownership means 100% ownership. You have control of who gets it and when, or you just decide to keep it for yourself, and you can use that as retirement income, and then just leave the estate to the beneficiary at the time of you passing later on in life, which is very cool. The child will be insured the rest of their life and no future underwriting required. This is number 2. So again, like we had talked about, if you know that your family has critical illness, in the genes, and that's something that you feel your child is going to get diagnosed with at some point in their life, if the child is already insured and approved, then that won't affect the insurance policy. You've already been approved. The underwriting has already accepted and approved this policy for the rest of that child's life. So this is what it means by guaranteeing the insurability of a young child. I see a lot where parents are insuring their children at 14 days old, and that's another thing I'm going to add in. The child, as soon as they turn 14 days old, that is when parents or grandparents can purchase this $1 million baby concept or cash value life insurance policy on the child. They have to minimally be 14 days old. Number 3, owner receives dividends from the insurance company on their cash value with zero market risk, and no tax implications. right? And this is what I talked about, the mutual company, right? You are a co-owner of the insurance company, and you are getting a little piece of the pie of the profitability that the insurance company is making. And that is the dividend interest you're receiving on your cash value as it accumulates. Number 4, after the child is over 18, the owner can decide to gift them the policy at any time or remain the owner. We just talked about that, so I won't go into more detail. Number 5, cost of insurance will never be lower, meaning every year the child gets older, or you get older, or anybody gets older, the cost of insurance goes up. So there's no better time than now to truly get this started. When the cost of insurance is lower, more can be either contributed to the cash value account, and over the course of many years, then it can accumulate to a fairly decent estate or retirement strategy. Last is 6, parents or grandparents can use this concept to transfer wealth to the next generation with no tax implications, such as inheritance tax. So anybody who has had to deal with an estate, or deal with probate, or deal with having to pay taxes on some of the inheritance that grandparents or parents granted to the beneficiary or future generation, they're going to understand this. This is how wealthy people transfer tens, if not hundreds, if not billions of dollars to the next generation without any tax implication. It's through life insurance. Life insurance is always 100% tax-free to the beneficiary, paid out instantly. There's no probate, so you don't have to wait. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all for this video. I just wanted to give a brief breakdown of the power of this policy and what it's actually doing behind the scenes. This next video I'm going to be shooting is going to be going over realistic case studies so that you can see what it's actually doing. You're going to see what the numbers are, what the monthly contribution is, what it's going to look like in 20, 40, 60, 80, 90 years. So that you can see the true power of the $1 million baby concept. And this is definitely going to be something that you're going to want to implement in for your kids, for your grandkids. It does not take a big monthly contribution to get this started. With that being said, I hope this was very educational. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Bye.